Hey folks, David Stewart here. Time for your daily trending. Today is the 1st of June, and this is technically the second one I did today because I didn't get to do the other one till after midnight, and this one I'm pushing back to 11 o'clock, so we still have about 24 hours between these. Let's start with Twitter, and then we'll see if there's anything interesting on YouTube. First one is the Bible. You're like, yes, the Bible is trending, thank God. Oh no, it's somebody trying to attack Donald Trump about the Bible. So here's the drama, is that some protesters were forcibly removed from an area so that you could have a state function, which is typical. And then there was a photograph of Trump holding up a Bible. Now, here's the thing, right? Is like there's this idea out there that the left wants to put out that if you're protesting, you should be able to do whatever you want and stop any event from happening, and no one should be able to do anything to you. That's nonsense. If you're forcibly preventing someone from moving, that is an initiation of force. That's also something that really shouldn't be permitted in a civil society at all. And then, of course, we go down a little further. You know what? Hitler also held books at different times. Clearly, Trump is like Hitler because Hitler held a book, Trump has held a book. Hitler urinates, Trump urinates. Hitler sleeps with the roof over his head, Trump sleeps with the roof over his head. Hitler wore a tie, Trump wears a tie. Can't you see that Trump is literally Hitler? Now, this photo op's taken in front of a church that the rioters, the attackers, actually, the terrorists, lit on fire. They were going to burn down the church. So I'm really happy that the Bible is trending, though. So that's pretty cool. Why I didn't report. I don't know what that one is. Why I didn't report. I don't know. It's more whatever. Blackout Tuesday, this is entertainers and music industry saying we're not going to do anything on Tuesday to show solidarity by not doing anything. This doesn't really do anything. It's another PR thing, like pay attention to me. It's kind of like one of those things like, have you ever driven past a burning building and thought, how could this benefit me? It's like, I could take a day off from work, because nobody's working anyway and you're in the music industry. You're not touring. You're not playing concerts. It's not a big deal to say, hey, we're just not going to do anything on Tuesday, because you're already not doing a whole lot right now. Not by choice. My heart goes out to people in the music industry, of which I was a part for a long time. But come on. It's like skipping a day of work in solidarity doesn't mean that much. Dictator Trump. You know, the dictatorship in Rome was something that was necessary to restore civil order. So if you are complaining about a dictatorship, it's because you've created civil disorder, not that we're anything close to an actual dictatorship. I'm not seeing a whole lot of other stuff here. Seth Rogen, I don't know why he's trending. Maybe because he supports terrorism. It's okay. He makes terrible movies, and he's a bad actor with a speech impediment, who smokes pot all day and got Kevin Smith to smoke pot, who really turned his ability to work around. Fire him. It's everybody on Twitter is so obsessed with Donald Trump. It's like, how can we make everything about how Trump is bad? I don't know. All right, let's jump over to the YouTube tab here. Let's see if there's anything interesting. How to cook stuff. That's cool, I guess. More news. People being bad. People destroying things. No one doing anything to stop it. Right. Okay. I spent 50 hours in solitary confinement. So solitary confinement is something that is actually not pleasant. I remember a couple years ago, people were kind of up in arms over the fact that Anders Breivik, this Norwegian guy a terrorist who attacked a bunch of kids, that he had a PlayStation 2 in his jail cell. And when you hear that, he gets to play video games, it's like, and he's breaking down, like crying, because he has no human contact. And I saw a video from Varg. Varg's been banned from YouTube at this point, but you can still find him on Twitter and find his videos on, say, BitChute. And made the point, like, it was way worse, because he was in prison for like 17 years in Norway. It's way worse when you are completely alone, when there's no social times. Like, the older prisons were more pleasant to be in, even though they were maybe more dangerous. They weren't as sterile. It's like Anders had no human contact. Like, came in, like, hosed down the cell, and that's just didn't get to talk to other people, which is really torturous. We are social beings, and we're meant to have interactions with other people. Even if my interactions were limited to just like talking YouTube comments or talking to people on social media, that's at least something social. If you don't have any of that, it gets really painful. And yes, you can go crazy. NASA astronauts arrive at the International Space Station on the SpaceX spacecraft. Cool for that. And somebody is somehow bored. Somebody's bored right now, despite all the stuff that's going on. I can say for sure that I'm a person who is virtually never bored. I'm only bored when I'm stuck a place where I can't do anything productive. Like if you're stuck in the airport with nothing to do except wait for a plane, then I get bored. And even then I try to actually be productive because I'll start thinking up stories when I'm bored. I've done it multiple times. If you leave me alone bored enough in a room for long enough, I'll write a book in my head and then be annoyed that I have to take weeks to actually turn the book I wrote in my head into words on a page. The worst typo I ever made. This is a guy I see on Numberphile a lot, so I have no idea when undo won't do. I have no idea what he's going to talk about, but I usually like to see that guy in videos. I'm not seeing too much else. TikTok food hacks. This is always kind of dumb stuff. Anyway, so I thought I'd talk about the solitary confinement thing. I don't know if there's anything else on Twitter. It's basically the same stuff that we've been seeing pretty much everywhere. Wendy's is over party, huh? Wendy's is a staple in our community. And then wow, this is a really bad video. They burned it down. Wendy's. Now I will say this stuff's not completely on the trending topics here. I have seen tons of brands already jumping on putting out like a bunch of statements in support of like Black Lives Matter or Antifa, maybe not directly Antifa, but kind of in the same realm or area. This kind of PR work you have to really question. Like I saw Blizzard put out something like this, and it's like you ban somebody for having political speech that's pro-democracy in Hong Kong, but then you're going to come out with statements that are basically pro-violence, pro-property destruction at the same time. That really tells you where their heart is. So that's something that I always find super annoying is brands let's just hop on the bandwagon and we will figure out how to turn this burning building into something that brings us some advantage. They do the same thing with Pride Month. They're going to do it all day long. I saw the FBI come out with like some pro-Pride propaganda crap. It's like, you're a government agency. This is in no way, shape, or form your realm of appropriate action. You shouldn't be making political speech about some particular set of lifestyles that end up being promoted or celebrated on the media. That's just completely out of place for a government institution. It'd be like schools coming out with something like that, and I'm sure schools do, but it's completely out of place and just really beyond the pale for that kind of stuff. But anyway, I've been seeing a lot of brands hopping on bandwagons trying to do this kind of stuff, and I just can't stand going on Facebook right now. I guess I could do like Facebook trending. Every time I go on Facebook, it's just like, it's normies. It's just people posting the most asinine crap. Because what happens is there's a big event and something bad happens, and so they get the message, I need to say something that shows how empathetic and feeling I am and that I'm on the right team so people won't get mad at me. So it's just like fields of boomers and white people just saying things about Black Lives Matter, this and that, and just the most normie stuff. And it's like often the exact same wording over and over again, which lets you know that they've basically been programmed to do it. But they don't do it because they really feel it, I feel like. They do it because it's just the reaction. It's like, okay, we got to get in the stampede. We got to all be on the same side and have the same exact agreement. And I see my friends are really in support of these riots, so I'm going to be in support of them too, without ever thinking about what's actually happening and what you should actually say. It's just really, Facebook is just an icky place, especially considering Facebook is like a history of the people I've known, and I'm like, man, I've known some really unthinking people over the years, and it's just hard to look at. It just makes me cringe, man. I just see the same kind of boring, empty platitudes over and over again, and very few real people saying how they feel. And usually the real people saying how they feel are the friends that I've made over the years who are black. They really kind of just let it rip, and then the other stuff just, man, it's just kind of fake and cringy. But anyway, that's it. That's your daily trending today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great one.